I think Amandala taught me a lot of leadership skills, and the other people in the group at the time I was there, I think it taught us a lot about, working together to execute like a vision, how to improve together as a group, um, how to be self-organized as a group of high schoolers, and also how to engage with our community. We were always performing around Highland Park at different events and things like that.
I think that Amandala teaches a lot of its leadership skills through example. I mean, when you watch leaders of Amandala take charge of a strong young group of women and really like conduct them and form a bond within the whole group, it really sends a strong sense of community, but also teaches you um, what you should be like as a leader. And not only that, but I think that when you join a mandala, you automatically feel this like sense of inclusivity. And that's really special because it makes you feel like you have like a voice within the group, which automatically just makes you feel like such an important part of such an important thing.
Teaches me how to be more independent. I have to hold a voice part on my own, which I don't usually have to do in choir. It made me more confident in being able to hold a part on my own.
Being a student-run group is not an easy task. There are so many moving parts. There's booking performances, handling money, learning your music, teaching your music. It's just a lot of responsibility, and I think that the fact that people have stepped up every year and a mandala has lasted 30 years is such a big deal. So a lot of leadership skills when you are a student-run group. You feel like you can do anything. That's how I felt when I was in a mandala. It's just like, yeah, we're doing this thing and I think we're doing it well. And you just feel really proud of the group.
In a mandala, you need to take responsibility and take leadership for yourself by learning your part and, practicing it and having it solid. We also take leadership within the group and with each other by, like learning the part together, learning the song together, and, obviously like helping each other out. Yeah. What's also really cool about us is that we don't have a advisor. So, yeah, we're like completely student run, and that therefore like it causes a lot of leadership within our group. Yeah, I mean, kind of self-explanatory, but we're just a group of high schoolers, and somehow we create this amazing group that performs at a lot of different events. Yeah, but we are very structured, so that definitely shows a lot of leadership in each and every one of us.
I feel that a mandala teaches leadership skills to its members by empowering them to be who they are. The main thing of a mandala is very much like women empowerment and women are bosses and women rule the world. And through that, the women in our group, they are taught how to be leaders, how to fight for what they want, how to not sit there and take what anyone throws at them.
I think that Amandala teaches leadership skills to its members. Obviously, starting with the leaders of the group, it teaches you at a earlier age how to lead 10 to 12, 13 members and how to instill values of timeliness, coming to rehearsal on time, practicing your music beforehand, showing up to performances. These are values that are instilled in members at an early age. And I think it's also important to note that members are encouraged at this young age to contribute ideas and new ways of working and new ways of conducting rehearsals and ways that the group can improve, whether it's the audition process or the way a rehearsal is run, I think there was always this opportunity for members to pitch ideas and really begin to understand who they are within a musical space.
I feel like Amandala teaches leadership skills through the other skills that we get taught, like teamwork and responsibility for our own music and craftsmanship. I just really feel like those are really important skills to have as a leader. So even if you're not the person who's directing or leading a mandala, you're still learning those really important skills that help you be a leader later on in life, which I think is really cool.
I think a mandala teaches leadership skills because the leaders of a mandala show leadership, which teaches all the underclassmen like how to grow as a leader and then one day maybe become the leader of a mandala. I feel like I really found my voice in this group, and I'm more open to sharing my opinion and saying what I want to say.
Amandala has taught me almost everything that I know about being a leader. It taught me about teaching music, booking venues, budgeting, making sure that everyone feels comfortable. And this is going to be my 3rd year running the group next year when I'm a senior, and it will be on my last year, and I'm very sad. But I've learned so many things about being a leader, simply just from being in a mandala before I was a leader and then becoming one of the leaders.
My senior year, there were 4 of us that were seniors, and we all led the group collaboratively, and it was such a beautiful experience figuring out how to do that as a group of individuals leading the group. Not having just one leader was actually really beautiful and communal, and it taught me a lot about how to be in community in a way that's empowering to other people.
I would say Amandala is one of the few things that I did in high school that, you know, I still think about, that I still cherish and still comes up relatively frequently. The most recent example is I was at a museum at the National Gallery of Art at this exhibit, and the exhibit had a bunch of photographs, and in the last room of the exhibit there was a video, and it was a small exhibition, so you could kind of hear the video even as you're looking at the photographs. And I was there with my mom, who is a big Amandala fan, and we hear singing coming from the video room, and she goes, "Amandala sings that." And I listen, and it's Miango, the dirge. And so there's stuff like that where I'm just always reminded of Amandala and the amazing time I had, the amazing songs I got to learn, the different languages and cultures we were exposed to. So I feel like for me, what is Amandala's legacy? It's that it has one, that it still impacts me, you know, years later.
Amandala's legacy to me is all of the amazing musicians who have been a part of it, or are a part of it, or will be a part of it in the future.
And I mean, Amandala's legacy to me, it's as I've matured and gotten older, I've come to fully realize the importance behind the group and representing femininity, womanhood, and being the voice for that group, for that group of individuals. And I think it's something that I always think about very fondly, and it gives me this, I almost don't recognize how badass it was to be in a mandala. Sometimes I'm like, wow, I mean, for us to have been spreading that type of message of female empowerment at such a young age without even potentially fully recognizing the depth to which we were conducting ourselves and you know, the meaning behind the group. I think now it's kind of like, wow, we were doing all of that as 7th graders, you know, like that's kind of insane.
Amandala's legacy to me is the beauty of being in a group of really talented, wonderful women. that's just an experience that'll stay with me for my entire life. I love being in this group and being with everyone and their voices and talking and laughing together. It was a really big comfort to me, especially as a new student, just to have that feeling of belonging. So that's just something that'll stick with me forever.
I'll just never forget the amount of laughter that was shared during rehearsals and performances and the sleepovers, and it was just so much fun, and it broke down a lot of the ideas that I had about working with femme identifying people. There's this stereotype that it's catty and competitive, and it just broke that stereotype down completely, and I felt so held and so supported, and I have so many cherished memories from that time, and I'm still friends with the people that I was in that group with. So I have a huge place in my heart for Amandala, and I'm so happy that we're celebrating 30 years.
So the legacy to me, I feel like, of Amandala is the harmony that it brings, just the culmination of girls who want to get together and sing and make music, make harmony, and you make the best friends of your life. My dearest friend in the whole world, my sister, my best friend, is the wonderful girl running this whole anniversary project, Rory. She was the leader of Amandala when I joined my senior year, and it was really inspiring to see this girl work and to see her co-directors, just students teaching other students, and it really inspired the rest of us. We know that we don't need adults to tell us how to sing. We can do it just fine ourselves, and it really inspired us to take charge and be able to make our own music and the way we want to do it and make it sound amazing all on our own. And yeah, I love Amandala. It was such a wonderful experience. Our rehearsals were Thursday nights, and it was just this amazing girl party of my favorite things: music, my friends, salt and vinegar chips, and it was just the energy in the room and just the music that goes through your ears. It's so pure, and you can just tell that everyone really wants to be there, and everyone who's there is there because they love music and they love each other. And I think that's really inspiring.
Amandala has a lot of legacy, and not just because of it running for the past 31 years, but also the fact that so many people love it and love learning all the beautiful music that we pass down from generation to generation. And that really, I feel like, is our legacy. And the fact that we're all women, and the fact that we are all supportive of each other, and we have such a good time. And I think Amandala's legacy is the women that pass the group down.
I think Amandala's legacy for me, I think it was just really powerful, like in how just how like focused we were, how really engaged we were in sort of really becoming as good as we could be. And at the time it was like majority women, and I think that was also really powerful, and just having like that space where we could be focused and work together and learn from each other, I think was really cool.
Amandala's legacy is definitely something to be proud about and proud of. I mean, it's very cool, I think, how, it's very impressive that we've been going on for 30 years and counting, especially being a student-run group. I think it's very impressive. I'm grateful that I'm a part of Amandala and I can be a part of this legacy, and I hope it continues. Yeah, I think this group is very different from a lot of other groups in the school, and yeah, I love that about us.
I can't even imagine what it felt like when we reached out to people to do the 20th anniversary, because like it's only been 10 years since then, and I'm just like, wow, like this is still happening, and like it's still like happening because students want it to happen, because like it's it's really just like the fact that it's still held together and like still, you know, I love it. I think it's very cool that it's like still going on and that like so many people have like gone on to do so many different things that are like related or unrelated, and things like that. And just like it's awesome.
Like as we were saying, it's amazing, and we're so grateful for Farzi to have the vision to like know that kids in New Jersey can be singing songs in solidarity with people from all across the world, and that's a really powerful thing to like broaden your horizons. And that, like you were saying, stays with you because you can be that person for friends to be like, there's a whole world out there of music that I'd love to help you discover. But I just like I can't imagine what my life would be like without the people that I met through the group, and I hope that people in it now are having that same experience, and I bet they are. But it was just a space where I don't know. I hope everyone felt like they could always just like be their total self, and like we were all we weren't like all in the same friend groups at school, right? But like
yeah.
To me, it means a strong, empowered group of women who sing songs from different cultures, and I feel like that's really cool to be a part of because we're all like stand up for what we believe in, and we're strong women. And yeah, I'd like to say in the future that I was a part of Amandala.
It is not often you have a student-run group singing not popular songs. Of course, we had some popular songs that we were singing, but really it was mostly multicultural songs, different languages, different countries, and I just think that's really rare and really special. And that people have been interested enough to join and audition every year, I think says a lot about Amandala and its legacy. Just personally, when I got married, I had 3 friends who were in Amandala with me sing something for our ceremony, and I think it just speaks volumes to the community that Amandala builds and the friendship. They are long-lasting, and we can still get together and sing different parts from Amandala songs that we all know, and it just makes my heart so happy. So I feel so lucky to have been in Amandala, and I'm still, you know, feeling rewarded from that time.
I've always loved singing, and so I wanted to keep that in my life afterwards. I went to Rutgers, which is pretty competitive in the a cappella scene, because we've got Mason Gross. So I joined the Rutgers Queen's Chorale, which is the oldest all female choir at Rutgers, and led that group my senior year as well. So that would have been 2018, 2019.
I've gone on to spread Amandala around the world, starting in college when I started a group at Georgetown University where I went that also sang international music. I studied abroad in Senegal where I directed a choir, brought them lots of Amandala songs, and I wrote my senior thesis in college on the role of music in the anti-apartheid movement. I'm now a U.S. diplomat, and I've served all around the world, and I've brought Amandala songs to the many choirs I've directed in the different posts where I've been, including right now in Algeria.
As an alumni, Amandala definitely influenced me throughout my time in college. It encouraged me to continue doing a cappella. I had joined an a cappella group off the beat at the University of Pennsylvania, where it was very intense. We had performed in the ICCAs, we had reached quarterfinals, and it always, I think, like middle schooler, high schooler, Anna was very grateful because I remember during our sleepovers we would watch Pitch Perfect, and so for me to be competing in the ICCAs was just, it was very surreal and kind of like a full circle for me, and it has continued to impact me, you know, even after college. I did a little bit of a cappella before starting to create my own music and sort of paving my own path within the world of music, which I now do more so as a part-time hobby, but it's always up for exploration and potentially something that I would like to invest more time and effort into.
Amandala, I think, really made me such a better musician and like really taught me a lot of discipline and like and how to work on music myself. I was in music groups all through high school and all through college and like performed at different places around New York City, which was really fun. Um, I was almost a music minor, so it really really showed me how to pursue more. Right now, I'm in the final year of my PhD in neuroscience at Rockefeller University, and actually here I'm also in a small cover band with some friends of mine where we just cover like sort of pop rock songs, which has been really fun. And another important thing that I think Amandala indirectly gave me is like, in becoming better as a vocalist, I also like love karaoke and enjoy it so much with my friends. So that might be also a lifetime love or a lifetime hobby for other Amandala members as well.
It was one of those things, like, I didn't really do a lot of music after high school, honestly, because I went to nursing school for a little while, and that was like all encompassing of my life. But like a lot of my friends are in like, like the Boston like local band scene. And it's one of those things where like I, come from a completely different musical background. I was like, I play tuba and I sing these songs, and totally different, but like having that kind of like connection with them where I'm like, we're not doing the same thing, but like I feel you, and like listen to this Lady Smith Black Mambazo song.
Yeah, I think on one level, Amandala's great in it being student run, that it just gives you so much confidence, doesn't it? Like I never thought of myself as a musician. I never have, because like real people do that. But like the fact that we were just like taking ownership and like giving each other solos via like democratic method, like that's so cool. And like I don't know, that meant a lot in terms of just like feeling like I could hold my own in musical spaces. Yeah, I guess obviously like I don't think I would have known about the Slavic chorus at Yale and been doing Eastern European music had it not been for Mandala. And my parents always like to say that when I got in after I was like a freshman or a fresh in college and got in, I apparently said like when I was calling home, like, oh my god, it feels so good to be singing Bulgarian again. Whatever. I don't know if I actually said that, but but it is true. Like I feel like it. I remember Amy saying in her video for the 20th that like Amandala ruined her for pop music a cappella, and like yeah, 100% true.
Yeah, definitely. And like like it definitely broadened my musical interests and like the artists that I listen to, and like like what I seek out is like when I was in high school, like middle school even, like it was all just like My Chemical Romance and Green Day and Fall Out Boy and stuff like that, and I still love that, don't get me wrong, but like
time and place. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. And then I'll pop on a song like at work and people are like, what is this?
Yeah.
And I'm like, you don't know.
Let me tell you about Sweet Honey in the Rock. Thank you very much. Yeah.
Oh god, yep.
I am a music teacher now, so I teach in Albany. I teach at 2 elementary schools, general music and chorus. And wow, I don't know how we were running rehearsals as high school students. It is not easy. So I think when you're in high school, you're just like, this is what we do, this is how we do it. And then when you're an adult, you're like, wow, you're not even thinking of these things you once did, and they are not easy to do. But I still use some rounds from Amandala in my chorus, and the kids love it. I do Alligator every year. It's always a hit. So I'm just happy to have like that repertoire in my back pocket.
I am still a musician. I live in Nashville, Tennessee, and I tour and I record and I write, and music is my full-time thing. So Amandala really impacted me and was the first time that I was in an all-female musical group. I get to tour now, and I'm in a few bands that are all women, and there's nothing like it. Creating with other femmes is like a dream come true, and I can't believe that I get to do it for a career now. So grateful that Amandala was the first place that I experienced that kind of community. And it's something that I hope to have for the rest of my life and to curate around me, because there's nothing like that kind of freedom.
My favorite song that I've actually used a lot in a lot of different aspects of my life, is Kwaheri. I think Kwaheri is just a super cool song. I still remember all 4 parts. I've brought it to other groups and taught other people how to sing it, and I think it was just a great song. The other one would be Like a Prayer by Madonna. That was my favorite pop cover that we did.
My favorite Amandala song is Con el Viento. I just I don't know, I like the harmonies, and I think it was just a really cool song to sing together, and I feel like we really knew it and brought it in a way that sounded complete, if you know what I mean.
My favorite Amandala song, it's hard to choose, but I would have to choose Mother. I just love that song, and it's the round and it's really grounding, and I still get it stuck in my head sometimes. So I would have to pick Mother. But I also love the Amandala theme song. Just classic.
I think one of my all-time favorites is Pata Pata, which Miriam Makeba's version. I was remembering the other day, I think I was someone was talking about Pitch Perfect, and whenever that happens, I always think back to the one time that Amandala competed at the whatever the acronym is, ICAA,
Yep.
whatever the high school version.
That thing.
And we kicked ass. Jess Nolan won Best Soloist. And we took it so seriously, even though going into it, the odds were stacked against us, weren't they? Because
a little bit, yeah.
We were the only student-run group, and everyone else was doing serious pop music, weren't they?
Yeah.
But we did Pata Pata, and we slayed.
I really loved Oh Freedom, just because everybody got a little solo part, and it's just always so beautiful. Mm-hmm. And the bigger ones. Do you remember when we did Like a Prayer?
Yeah.
That one, I wouldn't say it's my favorite, but it's definitely a story that I tell a lot.
Me too. I feel like the songs that I've taught most to people since I left Amandala have also have a special place in my heart. I teach so many of my friends Alligator.
I was thinking of Alligator too.
Mother I Feel You, and just all the rounds we did, I really, really love. And then I guess last ones I'll say are Što Mi je Milo and Brepa Trunka also are really special to me.
My favorite Amandala song is Nightfall because it's challenging and still really fun to sing in lots of ways.
My favorite song from Amandala, I have 2 favorite songs. So one of my favorite songs was called Con el Viento, and I sang bass for that part, and it was just really rich and beautiful, and I'm a harmony girl. I love harmonies, and the harmonies were so amazing. And the other favorite song that I had is a piece from the musical Into the Woods that my best friend Rory put together as the senior piece, because I was supposed to play the baker's wife in Into the Woods my sophomore year, and it got canceled for COVID. And so my darling Rory put it into the Amandala senior piece repertoire, and I got to sing my solo. And that's just the kind of energy that Amandala brings. It is beautiful. It is a culture of giving back, of leadership, of just harmony between voice parts and between souls. It's a really amazing group, and I loved it so much.
I have a lot of favorite Amandala songs, and honestly it changes pretty much on a daily basis. Currently, right now, my favorite one to sing with the group is Wally Wally. And in general, I think my favorite Amandala song has to be Akanamanla, because when we all sing it together, it just makes me feel so warm, and I'm like, wow, this is really cool. Yeah.
My favorite Amandala song, Akanamanla, is probably my go-to, but Shosholoza also. I loved the bass tenor parts. I think it just showed the strength of the group and how everyone had something different to contribute. And I loved that balance between the bass and the sopranos in Shosholoza. And I remember Charlotte Feingold teaching us the song the year that she was leading the group. And Nishka Banya, I would say is also a favorite, but that's because I'm biased and I'm Serbian, and it's a Serbian song originating from the city that I currently live in, Niš.
My favorite Amandala song right now is Lion Sleeps Tonight. It is the most fun to sing, and I love how everyone gets their own part, and it's so wonderful and so warm and fuzzy. I love it.
My favorite Amandala songs are the South African ones. Akana Mandala, Singa Bahambayo. Those will be with me forever, and I've taught them to so many groups. It's just great.
I think my favorite Amandala song is Con Viento. I'm pretty sure it was the first one I learned when I joined Amandala, except for Mother, of course. But yeah, I love the dynamics in that song and like the chords and the way it all just like resonates together, and like it, like, I don't know, it's so like full, and I think I already said the dynamics, but yeah, it's a beautiful song. I love it. I also love Steal Away and just like the way the parts fit together. It's nice. And Nightfall. I like Nightfall. I especially like how the lyrics are staggered in the different parts, especially in the beginning of Nightfall. But yeah, I think Con Viento is my favorite song.
So this is maybe really dorky, but there was, I think the 96 Amandala group had recorded songs and put them together on probably a cassette, and then it got passed down as a CD later on. And there were 2 songs, and my understanding was that Amandala members have written them, and I'll be really embarrassed if that's not true. But I really enjoyed listening to Wim Westwa, I think that was the correct name, and then They Are Falling All Around Me. I just thought they were so creative and beautiful. And then I feel like it's so hard to choose, but I mean, I have to say Akana Mandala. It has to be one of my favorite songs. It's just fun to sing. It feels good. I feel like once you're in the groove, you're like, yes, I finally get to sing this. So that, I have to say, that's my favorite song.
I think one of my favorite songs from Amandala has to be either Akana Mandala or Con el Viento. Those 2 are very powerful to me. I mean, Akana Mandala speaks about amazing, amazing things, and Con is just a very beautiful song.
I would always get teased because I just loved Akana Mandala. But I feel like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's a good one, and so I think even though a lot of different ones hold special places in my heart, I loved singing the descant on Akana Mandala, and I always will.
Hi, everybody. My name is Farzi Hamasi. Also go by Farzaneh Hamasi. I am Amandala's founder. I started the group in 1992 when I was a senior in high school. And it's amazing that it's still going on thanks to the work of so many women these past 30 years. So I'm talking to you from my home in Toronto, Canada, where I've been living for the past 10 years. The last time I was in Highland Park was for the 20th anniversary of Amandala. So it's amazing to have this connection still to the town and the high school. I'm going to answer some of these questions that were sent to me by Rory. So I won't answer them in order. The question of, let's see, what is Amandala's legacy to you? What's Amandala's legacy to me? I think for me, looking back on Amandala was really important because it taught me that if you have a vision for something and if you can convince people of that vision, then so many doors will open. I was so lucky to have the support of my choir director at that time, the support of my mom, who made time for me to go to rehearsals, the support of all the parents, other parents of the women who were in the choir when we were, in 1992, 93, and the support of the choir members themselves and our audiences. It was pretty amazing that people were even willing to listen to what we were doing. It was so different from the Western art music and sort of traditional choral repertoire of that was really, what our high school choir did for the most part, and which I liked a lot. But this was also one of the only things in the high school that was for women at that time. Besides something like cheerleading, right? Or girls' sports teams. There weren't arts that were devoted specifically to girls, and yet there were so many girls who loved to sing. So I think the legacy for me is in some ways thinking about what you can, kind of corny, what you can do if you set your mind to it. But it really gave me a lot of faith in the community that we were a part of at that time and that we were creating. I always felt extremely lucky to be in Highland Park and to be in a place that would support a young woman's ideas, even if they were kind of far outside of the realm of normal high school activity. Let's see. How did my time in Amandala affect what I did after high school? So that's kind of a chicken and egg question, because I am now an ethnomusicologist, which is probably the most logical outcome of being in Amandala. I study and teach about mostly non-Western music. I'm also now affiliated faculty with women and gender studies. So that also makes sense for Amandala. And some of my work has been writing about the political power of female voices. Again, not that much of a surprise from Amandala, though when my work has been about the context of Iranian women's voices post-revolution, so since 1979, and especially in diaspora. So I already had those interests in non-Western music and in women and women's performance when I started Amandala. And so in a way, what I did after high school and after university was a continuation of my interest, my long-term interests. But again, I think that that the context of being able to do something that you set your mind to, the confidence that gave me was really important for the rest of my work life and like personal life, even for organizing things that are really fun. It's like if you can convince people that it's a good idea, then a lot of times they'll come with you and it will be fun. What is or was my favorite Amandala song? Oh, there's so many to choose from, but I think it's still Shtomi Amilo, which is now, I didn't realize it was so important for the Yale Slavic choir. We started singing that in Amandala because a choir that I had been in as a kid, the Redwood Coast Children's Chorus in Arcata, California, had sung it as part of their repertoire. I had never sung it with them, but they sent me the sheet music because I loved it so much. And then I started it with Amandala, and then now it's got like multiple layers because of the Yale connection and everything. So that's still my favorite song. And it's the one that I remember singing with Suzanne and Amy and Laura when we would get together after graduating high school and graduating university and seeing each other in Highland Park for occasional reunions. And it makes me feel like I'm part of a sisterhood. Bye, everybody.
grito che sogno me convidava. El mar su sol associava con un contento infinito. Pace se lodo trio I voglio mori Petrunchi For voglio Petrunchi No fortunci tu mori orovo Petrunci sea I kaya. One bright morning when my work is over, man will fly away home. Like a dewy morn of sun, and our peace will fade. We will further move and prosper in our promised land. Glory stream from heaven afar. Heavenly hosts sing Alleluia. Christ the Savior is born. Christ the Savior is born. Can you call my name? It's like a little prayer. Down on my knees, I wanna take you there. In the midnight hour, I can feel your power, just like a prayer. I wanna take you there. Così si kelela, tina lusa polvaio. Così si keleli Africa, malu paganizu pandolayo. Izwa imitanda zoyetu, nukosi si kelela. Your children are not your children. They are the sons and the daughters of a life's longing for itself. They come through you, but they are not from you. And though they are with you, they belong not to you.
Been to the water spout, to the rivers, on to the water, been to the water spout, to the water, been to the water, been to the water, been to the
Give your all to me, I give my all to you. You're my end and my beginning. Even when I lose, I'm winning. 'Cause I give you all of me. Okay.
I'm gonna break something.
Mother, I feel you under my feet. Mother, I feel your heartbeat. Hallelujah. zile, hallelujah. Simtuma zile, usatane. Simtuma zile, hallelujah. Simtuma zile, usatane. Simzabi zile, hallelujah. Simzabi zile, usatane. Simzabi zile, hallelujah. Simzabi zile.